Revelation 14 is like a thrilling movie scene where we witness divine heroes battling evil in an epic showdown. At the heart of this chapter are two key players, the Lamb and the 144,000. Imagine this, the Lamb, who represents Jesus, standing tall on Mount Zion. He's not alone. Around him are the 144,000, chosen ones marked by God. This scene isn't just about visuals, it's about hope in the midst of chaos. Mount Zion isn't just any mountain, it's like the holy HQ where God's presence dwells. In this chapter, it's a symbol of safety and salvation in Jesus. Who are the 144,000? They're not a head count, they're a symbol of God's faithful ones, a mix of people from all walks of life, standing strong in their faith during tough times. Their mark, it's like a stamp of approval from God saying, "You're mine." It's like an invisible shield, protecting them from the storm that's coming. Now imagine three angels showing up with messages. The first one is all about the eternal gospel, reminding people to honor and worship God, the ultimate creator. The second angel's message is about Babylon's fall. Babylon isn't just a place, it's a symbol of all that's wrong in the world: corruption, greed, and rebellion against God. This message is a wake-up call. Evil will be defeated, and God's kingdom will prevail. Then comes the third angel with a serious warning. Don't fall for the beast's tricks. The beast is like evil in disguise, tempting people to follow him instead of God. But those who stay faithful, even if it means facing tough times, will find rest and victory in the end. And finally, there's a vision of harvest time. The Son of Man, like a farmer with a sharp sickle, gathers the good crop, those who stayed faithful into God's kingdom. But the bad crop, those who chose evil, will face God's judgment. Revelation 14 isn't just a story, it's a reminder of God's power and faithfulness. It's like a pep talk for believers, encouraging them to stay strong no matter what, because in the end, God wins. So let's keep our eyes on Jesus, our hero, and hold on to the hope of his return. So we've seen the Lamb Jesus in the 144,000 standing strong amidst all the chaos. But what happens next? Let's dive deeper into Revelation 14 and see where this journey takes us. After the visions of the Lamb and the angels, we come to a dramatic scene, a vision of Jesus coming with a sickle to reap the earth's harvest. It's like he's gathering the good stuff, separating it from the bad. This harvest scene is a powerful image of Judgment Day. Picture it like this. Jesus is the farmer, and he's separating the wheat, the good people, from the weeds, the bad people. The wheat gets gathered into God's kingdom, while the weeds get thrown away. But wait, there's more. We're not done yet. Revelation 14 also gives us a glimpse into what happens to those who've chosen to follow the beast and receive its mark. It's not a pretty picture. They face God's wrath, like grapes being thrown into a winepress and crushed. It's a vivid image of punishment for those who've turned away from God. Now you might be wondering, what's the point of all this? Why is Revelation 14 showing us all these visions? Well, it's like a wake-up call. It's reminding us that our choices matter, and there are consequences for how we live our lives. The Lamb and the 144,000 show us what it means to stay faithful to God, even when things get tough. They're like beacons of hope, guiding us through the darkness. And the angels' messages, they're like warning signs along the road, telling us to watch out for danger ahead. They remind us to stay true to God and not be swayed by the temptations of this world. So what's the takeaway from Revelation 14? It's a message of hope and warning, all wrapped up in one. It tells us that God is in control and he's coming back to set things right. But it also reminds us that we have a choice to make. Will we stay faithful to God or follow the path of destruction? As we journey through life, let's remember the Lamb and the 144,000. Let's hold on to their example of faithfulness and trust that God will guide us through whatever lies ahead. And let's heed the warnings of the angels, staying true to God's path and avoiding the pitfalls of sin. In the end, Revelation 14 is a call to action. It's a reminder to live our lives in a way that honors God, knowing that he is faithful to those who love him. So let's keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, the Lamb who was slain, and trust that he will lead us safely home. So we've traveled through Revelation 14, encountering visions of the Lamb, the angels, and the harvest. But there's still more to uncover in this chapter. Let's keep digging deeper and see what else we can find. As we continue our journey, we come across another scene. A heavenly chorus singing praises to God. It's like a grand celebration in heaven with everyone joining in to worship God for His greatness and power. This heavenly choir reminds us that no matter what's happening on earth, God is still on His throne, ruling over all creation. It's a comforting thought, knowing that we have a God who is worthy of our praise and who will never abandon us. But Revelation 14 isn't just about heavenly choirs and grand celebrations. It also gives us a glimpse into the final battle between good and evil. Picture it like this: Jesus, the mighty warrior, coming to defeat the forces of darkness once and for all. This battle isn't just a physical one, it's a spiritual one too. It's like a showdown between God's kingdom and the kingdom of the beast. And guess what? Spoiler alert, God wins. It's like the ultimate underdog story, with God coming out victorious in the end. But victory doesn't come without sacrifice. Revelation 14 also shows us the suffering of God's people, those who've chosen to follow Him even when it's hard. They're like warriors on the front lines, standing firm in their faith despite the odds stacked against them. Their suffering isn't in vain, though. It's like the refining fire, purifying their faith and making them stronger in the end. And when Jesus finally comes to rescue them, it's like the ultimate redemption story, with God's people being saved from destruction and brought into His kingdom forever. So what does all this mean for us? How does Revelation 14 apply to our lives today? Well, it's like a roadmap for navigating the challenges of life. It shows us that even in the darkest times, God is still in control, and His victory is assured. It's a reminder to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, the Lamb who was slain for our sins. He's like our anchor in the storm, keeping us grounded in faith even when everything else seems to be falling apart. And it's a call to action, urging us to stand firm in our faith and not be swayed by the temptations of this world. We may face trials and tribulations, but we can take heart knowing that God is with us every step of the way. So let's keep journeying through Revelation 14, soaking in its truths and allowing them to shape our lives. And let's hold fast to the hope that one day we will join the heavenly chorus in singing praises to God for all eternity. Wait, there's still more to uncover, so let's keep diving deeper into this chapter. As we delve further into Revelation 14, we encounter a powerful image: the pouring out of God's wrath. It's like a storm brewing, with God unleashing His righteous anger upon the wicked. Now, I know that sounds intense, but stick with me. This pouring out of wrath isn't some random act of violence. It's like a response to all the evil and injustice in the world, a way for God to bring about justice and righteousness. It's like a parent disciplining a child out of love, wanting what's best for them in the long run. But here's the thing: even in the midst of God's wrath, there's still hope. It's like a silver lining in the dark clouds. Revelation 14 shows us that God's ultimate goal isn't destruction, it's redemption. He wants to bring people back to Himself, to restore what was broken and make all things new. So what does this mean for us? How should we respond to the message of Revelation 14? Well, it's like a wake-up call, urging us to take our faith seriously and live in a way that honors God. It's like a reminder that our choices have consequences and we need to choose wisely. But it's also a message of hope, reminding us that no matter how bad things may seem, God is still in control. He's like the captain of a ship, steering us through the storms of life and leading us safely to shore. So let's take hold of the truths we've discovered in Revelation 14 and let them shape our lives. Let's fix our eyes on Jesus, the Lamb who was slain for our sins, and trust that He will guide us through whatever trials may come our way. And let's not keep this message to ourselves. Let's share it with others, like a beacon of light in a dark world. Let's show them that there's hope in the midst of despair, and that God's love is greater than any obstacle we may face. In the end, Revelation 14 is a call to action. It's like a challenge to live our lives in a way that reflects God's love and grace. So let's rise to the occasion, embracing the message of Revelation 14 and allowing it to transform us from the inside out. If you found this video helpful or enjoyable, we kindly ask for your support by subscribing to our channel, giving it a thumbs up,